Just how close are the Celtics to the NBA's elite? My name is Mike Petralia, joined inside TD Garden for this Garden Report by Jeff Goodman and Chris Grenham. This Garden Report is brought to you by our friends at 1-in-100. CLNS Media and 1-in-100 are giving you a great chance to win Super Bowl tickets on Super Bowl Sunday between the Rams and the Patriots.
Go Pats.
Go Pats indeed. Go to clnsmedia.com/Super Bowl to register for your chance to win in a raffle Super Bowl tickets between the Patriots and Rams. And just remember, guys, your first entry is always free.
I don't have to say Go Pats to be on the segment,
Yes, you
do
do.
I?
Well,
Say it.
I just did.
It's good.
You're going to get a lot more followers,
Well played.
Jeff, from the football crowd if you do that. Anyway, okay, the Celtics lose 115-111 to the NBA's elite, the best team in the NBA, 35-14 Golden State Warriors. The big question, I think, the takeaway is, what did you learn about the Celtics, how close they are to being considered a viable NBA Finals team? Jeff?
No, I think they're there. I mean, they proved they can play with Golden State right down to the wire, and to be honest, they should have won this game.
Yeah.
They had opportunities at the end that I think were squandered. Can they beat Golden State? No, but that's not really the goal this year. The goal is to get there, be the best team in the East. They haven't looked like it for much of the first half of the season, but I think for the most part they look like it tonight. They look, Kyrie obviously can play at the highest level with any of these dudes.
Right.
It's kind of the rest of the team, and I think Jason Tatum showed for the most part coming out of halftime. He had that strong third quarter. He's still got to be more consistent and sustain it. But I think overall, to me, if I'm a Celtics fan, I feel pretty darn good about where I'm at after tonight's game against the best team in the NBA, who, oh, by the way, just got better with the addition of Boogie Cousins.
Yeah.
And Chris, I just want to lead you in with this. Al Horford, after the game, says everybody's going to ask us, is this an NBA Finals preview?
Right.
We got a long way to go, and there's a lot of basketball to be played, and we have a lot of improvement to make.
Yeah, I mean, like Jeff said, I think the main takeaway here is that they can play with the Warriors. They stuck with them. They blew a couple chances there at the end. They had 3 solid chances in the final minute, and they didn't capitalize on them. So the fact of the matter is that they did play with them when Golden State was able to shut down Kyrie Irving thanks to Klay Thompson. The Celtics didn't have any secondary options to go to. They kind of looked stagnant, and they didn't really know where to turn, so that's a problem. But the fact of the matter is that they played with them, and I think that's a positive takeaway because there's no one better than Golden State, and in my opinion, no one can beat that team in a 7-game series.
You better do the little things right, guys, if you're going to beat a team like the Warriors once, let alone to have a shot in a best-of-7. And the failure to box out on the Draymond Green 2 free throws at the end, that's just a critical error that you cannot make. Whether or not you think Kevin Durant got away with a lane violation or not, you still cannot allow the shooter of the free throws to be that wide open.
No, you're right. I mean, listen, there's no excuse for it at that point because, again, that's just fundamental basketball. But, again, let's not say it came down to one play, right? There were several plays that they had an opportunity to, again, Marcus Smart, he hits that first 3, so he gets trigger happy. And that's
Smart
not the
heat
shot.
check.
Yeah, it's not the shot you want, not if you're the Celtics.
And there was a lot of those down the stretches.
Yeah.
They settled for a lot of contested threes, contested perimeter shots that kind of shots that they got sucked into earlier on in the season. If they go back to that, that's not a great thing. And that's kind of what killed them.
All right, the bench. I want to talk about the bench real quickly. And another hot button topic is after this game is going to be Gordon Hayward, right? Gordon Hayward and Terry Rozier for the first 3 quarters of this game, 0 for 6 from the field. Those are 2 guys off the bench that can't go scoreless that long, right?
Absolutely. I talked to somebody in the Warriors locker room, a player, who said, listen, Gordon Hayward is not Gordon Hayward right now. He's hurting him. He's a liability on both ends of the court. And the player also said to me, listen, from my standpoint, I think they need to make a move. And I don't know who it's going to be. And that's kind of the hard part, to try to figure out what Danny Ainge can do at this point, because let's face it, Jaylen Brown, Terry Rozier, their value's not what it was at the end of last season.
No.
You don't want to trade low if you're going to trade, and that's what you'd be doing, especially with Jaylen Brown. Rozier, restricted free agent, it's a little bit different.
And certainly with Gordon Hayward's contract, you're not trading.
You can't move.
No, and no one's going to pick up that. I mean, Gordon's been throughout his recovery a couple steps slow the whole time. It just
you got to give him a year.
And it just exactly, but it really comes to the surface against a team like Golden State, where they have 5 All-Stars. Like, that's just going to happen. And in a game like this, it's not a matchup for him. He has no place on either side of the ball trying to guard a team like the
I
Warriors,
feel bad
you know?
watching him.
It's
You
tough.
almost
You
feel
do.
bad
Yeah,
for
because he
Gordon.
knows he has it, but he just can't get there yet.
And he's not this year. Can we safely say, guys, he's not going to be the player he was 2-3
No.
years ago
No.
this season.
No,
But it's funny, you watch Boogie, and he's a week back, and you say to yourself, all right, he looks closer than Gordon.
Pretty
And he's
Now, again,
starting on that team.
He's a
Yeah.
big who doesn't have to guard elite-level athletes a
Right.
lot of the time and go up and
He doesn't have as
down.
much responsibility.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, the Celtics, I think, guys, they showed enough to give the Celtic fan base encouragement
There's
here on
positives,
Saturday
yeah.
night.
Yeah, definitely.
But still, as Al Horford said after the game, there's still a long way to go. The Celtics drop one to the Golden State Warriors, 115-111. The Celtics now 30-19 on the season. They see their 5-game winning streak come to an end. This Garden Report has been brought to you by the great folks at 1-100. CLNS Media and 1-100 is giving you a great chance to win Super Bowl tickets between the Patriots and Rams on February 3rd in Atlanta, and win those tickets in a raffle. But you have to go to clnsmedia.com/Super Bowl for your chance to register in that raffle. Always remember, your first entry is free. Inside TD Garden, for Jeff Goodman and Chris Grenham, I'm Mike Petralia, CLNS Media.